Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to the valedictory session of the 43rd All India Criminology Conference on Reimagining Criminology and Criminal Justice in the context of changing paradigms in science and technology, organized by the West Bengal National University of Juridical Sciences, Kolkata, in collaboration with the Indian Society of Criminology. It is my honor to welcome our guests, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Dr. N.K. Chakraborty, our Chief Guest for the valedictory ceremony, Justice Ashim Roy, Professor B.B. Pandey Sir, former President, Indian Society of Criminology, and Dr. Syed Umar Khattab, Secretary, Indian Society of Criminology, Professor Dr. Kavita Singh, and Dr. Sarfaraz Ahmed Khan. I will request Sir to felicitate Justice Roy. Professor B.B. Pandey. Dr. Syed Umar Khattab. Dr. Sarfaraz Ahmed Sir. and Dr. Kavita Singh. ওখানে যাও। Thank you, sir. It is my honor to introduce Dr. Syed Umar Khattab, sir. Dr. Umar Khattab is an assistant professor at the Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice School of Behavior and Crime Science at Manoranmaniam Sundaranar University. He is also serving as the Secretary of Indian Society of Criminology. His academic competence includes critical criminology, social justice, economic crimes, and victimology. I will request Dr. Umar Khattab, sir, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Dignitaries on the stage, off the stage, faculties, student friends, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all to this valediction section of the 43rd All India Criminology Conference of Indian Society of Criminology. To formally welcome, so on behalf of the Indian Society of Criminology and West Bengal National University of Juridical Science, I welcome the guest of honor, the chief guest, Justice Ashim Roy, Lokayukta, West Bengal. Sir, welcome, sir. So I welcome Professor B.B. Pandey, former professor of law, Delhi University, former president ISC, who will be delivering valedictory address. Sir, I welcome you, sir. So I welcome Professor N.K. Chakraborty. I don't know if I should welcome him because he's part of our team. He's actually the head of our team. Sir, I welcome you, sir. So organizing secretary of the conference and hero of the afternoon, Dr. Sarfaraz Ahmed Khan. Sir, I welcome you, sir. So one of the most smiling teachers I've come across in law, Professor Dr. Kavita. Madam, I welcome you, madam. So I welcome one and all to this valedictory section. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I will now request Professor Dr. Kavita Singh. Ma'am needs no introduction, but I will introduce her. Dr. Kavita Singh is a professor in the West Bengal National University of Juridical Sciences and has a teaching experience of over 20 years. She is an executive member of the Indian Society of Victimology and the coordinator of School of Criminal Justice and Administration at WBNUJS. She is also the former faculty advisor of Society for Advancement of Criminal Justice. May I now call upon Professor Dr. Kavita Singh, ma'am, the working chairperson of the conference, for the chief rapporteur's presentation.
Thank you. My duty is very, very important for today's valedictory address, because the valedictory report I am going to present. And for this, before I start, I welcome all of you. And we are from the organizing team thankful to all the delegates who have made it to this conference and made this conference a successful event. Now, as I said, West Bengal National University of Juridical Sciences successfully organized 43rd All India Criminology Conference in collaboration with Indian Society of Criminology. The theme which was the need of the hour, in the sense technology is advancing at a great pace, or say increased rate, and similar is the crime rise. And the statistics are there to show that the investigating agencies are not at par with, or the criminal justice administration is not at par with the increase in the rate of science and technology. So reimagining criminology and criminal justice in the context of changing paradigm in science and technology was successfully dealt with in the 3 days of the conference, starting from 17th December till today, 19th December, and we are towards the end. At the Ambedkar Bhavan, the NUJS campus, the presence of honorable dignitaries across the globe, impressive lineup of scholars from across the India, the support of the sponsors, an array of carefully selected, well-researched and well-presented paper on the subjects. All subject, I mean the themes which we had for the parallel sessions and the plenary sessions, the theme on which the resource persons presented, all came together to help. The team of NUJS family, in NUJS family I would like to add faculties, teaching assistants, research fellow, research associates, and our beloved students. Without students, it would not have been possible to admirably conclude the huge endeavor. The conference was applauded for 20 parallel sessions, 4 plenary sessions, and 1 discussion session. Besides the inaugural and the valedictory session, this conference has, without a shade of doubt, made the academic and the pillar of criminal justice administration, all the fraternities which are there in the criminal justice administration, richer, with the additional literature in form of scholarly works on the area or the themes. This 3-day event offered opportunities to the participating audience to interact with the judges, academicians, experts, prosecutors, investigating agency members, scholars and activists from all over the country, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and from Seven Sisters to Gujarat, who deliberated upon the covered topics around the issues of criminology and criminal justice. The views expressed and explored on this platform by the resource persons and the paper presented made the audience rethink ideas which we cling on to the unthinkingly in our day-to-day life. The conference owes its success to an able guidance of Professor Dr. Nirmal Kanti Chakraborty, my own teacher. Professor Balraj Chauhan, his absence was greatly missed. Professor Arvind Tiwari, Professor Dr. P. Madhava Soma Sundaram, and Dr. Syed Umar Hatab, and my own colleague, Sarfraz Ahmed Khan, the hard work put in by the entire NUJS family. Honorable Justice Joymalya Bagchi, Judge, Calcutta High Court, inaugurated the conference along with our senior professor, Mr. M.Z. Khan, founding member of the Indian Criminology Society, former professor of sociology, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. Professor Nirmal Kanti Chakraborty, our own Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. P. Madhava Soma Sundaram, and Dr. Umar Tab. The welcome address was given by our own Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Nirmal Kanta Chakraborty. And in his welcome address, he also facilitated all the guests on the dais, and he, in his address, dealt with the issues and challenges which the criminal justice administration is facing in today's time, and how to deal with those issues and challenges. And it gave lot of food for thought for the young criminologist to research and come to a solution to the issues raised by Sir. Justice Joymalya Bagchi, in his inaugural address, took us to the journey through the impact of science and technology in the perspective of crime. He highlighted that the actus reus and the mens rea, because the essentialities of the crime commission have remained the same and the science and technology has advanced, criminal using those technologies and committing crime has to be dealt on hard. He also talked about and accepted that the courts have to be equipped with the new science and technology which is coming up, and accordingly the science and technology has to prove that the human intervention has to prove so that we can deal with the current problem. Followed by Professor M.Z. Khan's presentation on the theme of the conference in a lucid manner for the understanding of the audience, and he gave the historical development of the criminal justice administration and also the history of the All India Criminology Society. Followed by report presented by Dr. Syed Umar Hatab. He also, after presenting the report, called upon the awardees of the award. So the Kumarappa Reckless Award 2018 was conferred upon Professor Dr. P. Madhava Soma Sundaram. The ISC Dr. B.S. Karwal and Professor Sushil Chandra Award for Senior Social Scientist was conferred upon Professor Dr. Riyas Ahmad N. Mangoli. ISC SS Srivastava Award for Excellence in Teaching and Research in Criminology. 2018 award was conferred upon Professor Dr. M. Priyamvada. 2020 was conferred upon Dr. G.S. Venu Madhava. ISC fellows were also awarded. First one, Dr. D. Ramakrishnan, Mr. Vinod, Dr. Mahendra Simha Karna, Dr. Asha Mukundan, Dr. K. Parmesivam Shiva, and Mr. Vijneshwaran. Followed by the Kumarappa Necklace awardee, Professor Madhava Somasundaram, Chairman ISC, presented his presentation, and he emphasized upon the need to teach our students with empathy, as we already have the syllabus before us, Industry 4.0. The world is on the set of fourth industrial revolution, and this revolution is very much driven by the smarts in the automating decision making and process. So advancement in IT have resulted in immense improvement in computational power across nearly all electronic devices and enhanced capabilities in connecting the dots in an increasingly networked society. Digital performance in the cloud provides a perfect canvas for intervening new business models and for intelligent algorithms to analyze data and derive knowledge for operationalized use was the emphasis upon. In the fourth plenary session, we had very renowned professors from inside the country and globally. In the first session, we had N. Prabha Unnithan and Professor M.Z. Khan. In the second plenary session, we had Professor Somasundaram again and Professor Diane McGurry from St. Louis University, USA, and she presented her excellent empirical research on understanding serial killers through criminology. Followed by third plenary session, speaker Professor Shekhar Seshadri from NIMHANS on application of vulnerability, mental health and rights framework in psycholethal assessment of children in conflict with law. And with him, we had Amit Kumar Dubey, who spoke on cybersecurity, and he gave us excellent case study showing us how the cyber criminals are attacking the world. Then the fourth session we had in the morning today, Professor Arvind Tiwari, who discussed issues and challenges relating to access of justice in the era of advancement of science and technology, followed by Dr. Asha Srivastav, who emphasized upon, Dr. Asha Srivastav, Director, Central Forensic Science Laboratory, New Delhi. She spoke on the criminal justice response to crime against women and children in forensic science, and how forensic science was used to get to the conclusion that who is the criminal and how he had committed the crime, and finally the conviction could be made. In the discussion hour, we had four person to start the discussion. Among them, we had our own Professor B.B. Pandey sir. The discussion was on the Sonadhar versus State of Rajasthan case study, in which it was highlighted the plights of the under trials in the correctional home and what could be the solution and remedy for the litigants and also the accused and the victims in place. In this session, we had two honorable Justice Soumen Sen and Justice Ajay Kumar Mukherjee. They gave certain statistics and suggestions as to how we can deal with the problem of overcrowding in correctional home and what is being done in the state of West Bengal, and which was actually summing up was done by Dr. Purvi Pokhriyal. In total, we had 13 themes, and from these themes, we had 146 papers presented. So, in the beginning, we had received 160 papers, which we had already all accepted for presentations, but only 146 presenters could actually present their paper finally, and for this, we had 40 parallel sessions, and in the 40 parallel sessions, we required in 20 parallel sessions, we required 40 chair and co-chair, and it was an honor for us to have all the chair and the co-chair. With the help of the moderator and the rapporteur, all the parallel sessions went well. There is a lot to speak on, and I can go on and on, but due to paucity of time, it's not possible. But I would really appreciate in this forum that every day we had 2 cultural program on 17th also and on 18th also. So on the 17th, our own student cultural committee group performed and entertained us. So that was our own students' presentation. And on the 18th, some of you have missed it, but it was an excellent program which was performed by the Shruti performing troupe. And they performed in the beginning classical Manipuri dance, Rasila from Manipur, and followed by Nabindra Ritya, dance idiom from Tagore, and at the end, there was a group of women who performed the warrior dance. So that was also very, very good. And at the end, I would just conclude that we are following up with a proper report. All the sessions will be taken care of. All the paper presenters who submitted to their presentation will be summed up and will be shared with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the detailed and comprehensive report. I will now request Dr. Syed Umar Hatab to kindly come forward for the ISC Best Paper Award.
So the ISC Young Criminologist Award was called for, and we have received, the headquarters have received 13 papers. Out of 13 papers, 10 were selected for the next round. The papers were selected and it was adjudged for 5 criterions. So after 5 criterions, we have received the score from the paper reviewers, and then we came to the floor for floor testing with 5 other criterions by 3 judges. However, the judges could not appreciate and decide any paper for the best ISC research paper. Therefore, it was recommended that to defer both gold and silver medal for this year, 2022. So therefore, I regret all papers were excellent. The common comments have come. When they scored, they could not come to a conclusion whether to give it or not. So therefore, I congratulate all the presenters. I request the participants to kindly collect their certificates. I request the guest of honor and Professor B.B. Pandey to give away the certificate. Ms. Ramyat Tiwari. Ms. Anaga. Mr. Sajid. Mr. Anil, Amit Ghosh. Ms. Arjita. And Ms. Pooja. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It is my honor to introduce Professor B.B. Pandey, sir. Professor Pandey is the former professor of law, Delhi University, and former president, Indian Society of Criminology. Professor Pandey's scholarship intersects the sociology of punishment, criminal law and procedure, and criminology. He has a vast teaching experience of over 50 years. And I will now request Professor B.B. Pandey, sir, to kindly deliver the valedictory address.
After 3 days, Hello. Yes. Chief Guest, Justice Roy, Senior Most Criminologist, Professor Khan, and senior to me, one of the senior most President of Indian Society of Criminology. He has been so kind to come and participate in this conference. Professor Prabhayunithan, it's a pleasure for me, midway criminologist, who is a heretic criminologist, who has come from the field of law. And I would call this species of criminologist a hybrid criminologist. A hybrid criminologist was a tribe that emerged in India in the 80s, after having seen that rule of law demands justice for all citizens, accused as well as victims, justice for agencies of criminal justice, as well as for enforcers. That is what is the desideratum of rule of law that our Constitution had so elaborately constructed. I would react in a small way to this ritual of a valedictory. After 3 days of criminology in criminology, this is, as a matter of fact, a superfluity. It was not necessary. You have had so much of criminology that what will this tail end do? But this is a kind of closure ceremony of everything that you do in our religion also. Everything that you do it properly. You have rounded it up. A closure ceremony. And therefore, this is a kind of closure ceremony. It should be like a dessert, not like a bitter pill after a hefty criminology meal that you have had for 3 days. I would so make it a dessert by limiting it to 4 important inquiries. That is your take-home exercise. Expansion of criminological concerns. Criminology has all but expanded over this post-independence Indian society. Criminology as a subject, I was told by people from the South that a large number of criminology students have thronged all over academic institutions, much more in the South than in the East and North. The second is refinements in criminology, which is very important. Third is reimagining the rule of law anchor in criminology. There is a tendency to reimagine the rule of law anchor. I'll just talk on briefly, not to make it. I would have disagreement with the title itself slightly, though all my scholar friends have done this. It is not reimagining criminology. It is developing a new kind of interface between science and technology and criminology. Criminology is 500 years old, 600 years old. Pre-classical criminology, classical criminology, positive criminology, radical criminology. Criminology has taken so many turns, so many expansions. So it is not reimagining criminology. It is finding a new interface, points of interface. And the point of interface that is constitutionally mandated is in Article 51F, 51AH, which says to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. Criminology should develop a scientific temper. It should develop humanism and a spirit of inquiry and reform. That is the mandate of Article 51AH and nothing more. Criminology need not reimagine itself. Reimagination is done by someone who is smaller. Criminology is not smaller. Criminology is big. Science is smaller. Science caught up even in the Western countries. In the 18th and 19th century, criminology has been there. Criminal justice has been there for 800 years. It has much bigger history, much bigger geographical expanse. You read the writings of ancient law by Henry Maine, Sir Henry Maine, 1932 book, in which he says that criminology has spread over in non-progressive, primitive societies and progressive societies equally. Now coming to broadening horizons of criminology, that is my focus. And the quick bullet points, issues I touch: expansion of criminological concerns. Criminological concerns have grown over a period of time. It has spanned into areas of victimology. It has gone to the areas of forensic science. And people claim that forensic science is bigger than criminology itself. They are having international conferences on forensic science. But it is a split convergence of thought and divergence of thought. In the joint family of criminology, one sibling becomes victimology, the other child becomes forensic scientist. But it is all criminology. The main trunk of criminology, it is branches of criminology. They are concerns of criminology. Therefore, criminology in security society is a new concern. I read a wonderful book by a British scholar, Lucia Zedner. Lucia Zedner, in her book, Criminal Justice, Oxford University Press, Lucia Zedner has, in chapter 8, discussed precisely a 40-page, 45-page chapter on from post-crime to pre-crime. She has discussed, the title of the chapter is From Criminal Justice to Security Society. World is moving from criminal justice society, which ended with punishment, to a security society, which ends with imprisonment. Large number of people behind prison walls. Bus, detainees. This is happening in British society. What to talk of Indian society? As compared to them, this is Lucia Zedner writing in 2004. And she says that this is a concern of criminologists, but it has to be made tailored to the rule of law groundings. How much security is too much security? Lucia Zedner writes an article in International Journal of Sociology of Law. How much security is too much security? Security need not stifle the liberties of the citizens, because citizens are a resource to the society. It is through them that the society works. Now, suicide is a mental health concern. there was a time when suicide was considered to be Section 309 was a law and order concern. The Law Commission, their report, very late stage also, made it a law and order concern. 309 should not be abolished because it will create law and order problem. But then, side by side, suicide was touching on medical doctors' ethics also. Euthanasia in particular. So Law Commission report 196 said that it is a medical problem also. Doctors should not be made liable. Therefore, that impressed the powers that be, and in 2017 Mental Health Act, a person committing attempt to suicide was to be treated under Section 115A, a person under severe stress. There shall be a presumption of person acting under stress. Normal state of mind was not there. Much better was the UK model of Suicide Act of 1861. They abolished suicide offence. The creator of Section 309 abolished it in 1961. But India, we continue to hold it on till it has become a medical health problem. And now the government of India is talking of suicide prevention policies, how to prevent suicide. Because Section 151, Clause 2, 115, Clause 2 of the Mental Health Act 2017 says it is an obligation of the government to treat the persons with suicidal tendencies. So it is from liability of the suicide committer. It has become a liability of the government, obligation of the government. So government is framing policy for suicide prevention. Good concern, good change. Now there is a newfound concern for animal rights. There is a bill in 2022 which tries to prevent Cruelty to Animals Act. 61 amendments to the 1960 Act. And cruelty to animals, very good. You are now protecting animal rights. But the paradox is, without having protected human rights, where the agenda is incomplete, you want to protect animal rights, or you want to protect those who would be cruel to the animals, as butchers, as poor Tonga driver, as poor bullock cart driver. They will all be hauled up for cruelty to animals and subject to 3 years imprisonment. A new crop of criminals for criminologists is emerging. And if the animal is killed, 5 years imprisonment. All halal butchers will be subject to 5 years imprisonment. So this is very unfortunate, is paradoxical, where freedom, does it really mean animal right protection, or it means human being criminalization? You want to increase selective criminalization of human beings. So these concerns need to be, and then victimology concern have become full-blown sciences, and forensic justice concern have become full-blown sciences. Now, one more important thing that on the second refinements in criminology, criminology has undergone refinements. Refinements in 3 particular ways. New deployment of forensic science insights into criminology. This is very welcome. What was spoken by Dr. Asa Srivastav was this hitting the ball in the head. exactly what is required. This kind of knowledge should come into criminology. Criminology should be refined, enriched by this kind of knowledge. But there are limits to this kind of knowledge. Criminology should not replace finding of guilt. That must remain in the domains of the judge, not forensic scientist. Because judge is supposed to be an expert, let him be trained better. Let him be given tools for finding out. But criminology should not step into the domains of justice, other justice administrators. Because justice is a composite function of multiple agencies, not only police, not only forensic scientists, but judges equally and more so, because they are expert in guilt determination. And the judges are at work. This is a good sign. I talked about a re-examination of the trial court sentencing techniques. The Supreme Court under Justice Lalit, Chief Justice Lalit, 70 days tenure of Justice Lalit was a bright tenure that took to heart the task for a highest Supreme Court judge, Chief Justice, to find out how death penalty is being dished out to people who languish in the death row, where no mitigating circumstance is taken into account by the trial court judge. Section 235(2) requires that the trial court judge should take into account, that is the law laid down in Bachar Singh's judgment. And trial court judges are taking into account only aggravating circumstance and not mitigating circumstance. Why this should happen? And the Chief Justice wants a line of cases which he has delivered from 2019, Anokhi Lal down to Irfan, down to Firoz. He has said in all those cases, we'll stay that penalty, let the probation officer's report be before us next time. Let his psychological report be before us. What was this state of mind in the prison? And then we'll decide on question of sentence. Now, the third important refinement in criminology was witnessed, which did not come up in the criminological mind, erasure of guilt. A person who was a criminal, when does he again become innocent? And in the context of Rajiv Gandhi, 6 NS assassins who were released on Rajiv Gandhi assassination, Ravi Chandran's petition, which was decided by the Supreme Court, in which Justice Nagaratna and Justice 2-judge bench of the Supreme Court, in which they assiduously said that they have stayed in the prison for 30 years. Their behavior in the prison was satisfactory. All of them have indulged in vocational studies and equipped themselves and given all the evidence of reform. Now, what do you want? They are not the people like Bilkis Bano, where total 11 years they were inside. Here are people who are inside for 30 years. They have given all the evidence. Their behavior is satisfactory inside the prison. They want to start a new life. when will the erasure of guilt take place? Will you call them guilty throughout life? They have been given commutation of death sentence. Their life imprisonment is 30 years, somebody's life imprisonment is 11 years. Now we are not talking 11 years life imprisonment case. Erasure of guilt. I recall having gone to Max Planck Institute of Criminology, a book by John Brathwaite was becoming a kind of craze. Pandey, you have not read Brathwaite's book? From Punishment to Reintegrative Shaming. And uska thesis, Brathwaite's thesis in that book was, all punishment disintegrates the accused, the convict, and their families. They become pariah. Nobody marries in their families. Once a criminal, always a criminal. But in societies which believe in shaming as a punishment, their punishment to reintegrative shaming, collective societies. And he was a professor in Australia, John Brathwaite. I said, where did he get this idea? This is Indian idea. I had read P.N. Sen's book on expiation, shame as punishment. ये आइडिया जिसने चोरी किया होगा, हाँ, सत्यांशु मुखर्जी was also from Allahabad. He must have taken the book. Indian took the book and Australian stole the idea and wrote a book. And this is an Indian idea. क्षमा बड़न को होत है, छोटन को उत्पात. Expiation, erasure of guilt is the bedrock of Indian criminology. Indian criminal thought, penal thought, ancient thought. Today we have gone far away from it. We have forgotten Gandhi. And the Gandhi's thought was borrowed by Truth Reconciliation Commission Act. So this is the third point of refinement that should take place in criminology. That once a criminal and always a criminal is not necessary. And the third point of broadening horizon is which is very important, and I think I would briefly want you to see it. Reimagining the rule of law anchor. I will quote from Professor Leon Redzinovics. Redzinovics is a father of criminology, modern criminology. A Polish man that made me take a trip to Poland specially, to his university, Lodz University, University of Łódź. L-O-D-Z it is pronounced, but it is University of Łódź. And he studied in Poland, did his MA in Poland, Redzinovics, and then became the founding first director of Institute of Criminology at Cambridge and remained director of Institute of Criminology for 21 years. At the age of 90, in his 90th birthday, another doyen criminologist, Sir Roger Hood, who died 2 years back, who took over from Redzinovics as director of Criminology, Institute of Criminology at Cambridge. He is saying, in introducing Sir Leon's criminology, Redzinovics in his 90th birthday, Roger Hood said this: what has been Leon's brand of criminology? He has insisted that there must be a connection between criminology and criminal policy, and that study of criminology, shown of study of law and policy, is both arid and dangerous. That is what Redzinovics thought. and particularly dangerous when it ignores the wider questions of social and political values, especially the liberty of the citizens. Who is making crime? Who is being criminalized? Is it the poor butcher and Tongawala? Huh? Is it the professor of criminology? Who is being criminalized? Ask these questions as good criminologists. Constantly ask these questions. And then I have commented, there appears a growing tendency amongst the Indian academics, as well as the state agencies, to either totally ignore the rule of law or to unconventionally read it down. Rule of law koi matlab nahi. We are building a new rule of law. We are building on people's faith. People have voted for us. That's not enough. Rule of law is separate, something else. And you have seen growing unlawful encounters. Every state has its taste of encounters. You have seen illegal demolitions. It started in Madhya Pradesh. It spread over to Delhi, heart of the country. It was in UP. Now it has gone to Bihar. Now it has gone to Assam. Illegal demolitions. Demolition as a way of investigation of crime. Nobody has heard. You have to follow the rule of law, but you don't want rule of law. Rule of law is unnecessary. So what the academics say this. Social science criminologists are also saying this. We are in good company. Don't do that. Please don't do that. And the last, recognition and legitimation of criminology. Everybody says criminology is not being legitimized. Nobody is giving legitimacy to us. Nobody is recognizing criminology students. Nobody is getting employment. Now, are we only bothering for that? The bigger tragedy is criminologist is taking itself very lightly. I remember a mythological myth. Pavan Sutbal Pavan Samana Kachi Prasad Reho Hanumana. The Hanuman had enormous power. Criminologist has enormous power, but it has to be told by others that you have powers. And you have to garner your powers, speak up, speak out, speak sometimes inconveniently, but speak truly to powers. And that was the idea when the Mahamahim President of India, she spoke in the presence of best galaxy of lawmen and spoke the truth, what she felt. Criminologists should also speak the truth. Thank you very much. This was a wonderful experience for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful and insightful deliberation. I will now request our chief guest of the valedictory ceremony, Honorable Justice Oshim Roy, Lokayukta West Bengal and former Judge, High Court, Calcutta, to kindly deliver the special address.
Good afternoon, everybody. I feel proud, not because that I have been invited here in this dais as a special guest, but because in 22 years of NUJS, this is for the first time this conference is being held in collaboration with the Indian Society of Criminology. I understand that there are almost 300 participants and other distinguished guests are here. I am sure that there was no dearth of hospitality when Dr. Sarafraj was in the chair of his, who is the main organization. So I believe that. Before starting, I must say, this is a valedictory ceremony. As I understand, this is a practice which was prevailed in the college and schools, that at the end of their final year, after they complete the course, they to assemble together and to share their experience from the day one to the day they are leaving their college. So this is but now this concept has been borrowed and we were celebrating valedictory ceremony. And that apart, I find in this valedictory, in all seminars and all sessions, there is a cut-off time. But in valedictory sessions, it starts with 3 p.m., but it will continue onwards. So, please excuse me if I go on giving my lecture endlessly, and don't feel please bored. Now, let me come to the core issues. No. This is what Dr. Pandey said. I agree with him that how do we reimagine the criminology, which has the past history of 500 years. So, this is not reimagining exactly. It is an ongoing process or continuous activities to, on the side of the scholar, to study the crime and the behavior of the criminal. And why? What is the purpose? Purpose is to protect the society and to punish the criminal, and also to not only punish, after they serve out their punishment, as he was saying, that in Rajiv Gandhi's case, considering their conduct inside the prison, or then that this to consider their rehabilitation. And then another very important thing is to give the moral support to the victim. Because we must remember, we always forget, we always talk about the liberty, and that is always inclined towards what I say, that they are all inclined to the person who committed the crime. We forget about the victims. Indian Penal Code or Criminology was never enacted to show some mercy to the persons who committed the crime. On the other hand, to protect the society, the whole intention was that they should be, I don't believe in retributive. I believe in reformative process. But thing is this, but those attitude of becoming more liberal will not able to, one day this society will suffer and none else. Now, what I say that I find that there was 5 plenary sessions and about 20 sessions, including and then on 12 themes. And I believe that those seminars were highly educative, productive, and all those participants have enriched their knowledge by hearing the scholar, and also they had the opportunity to present their papers. By that, they have been able to expose themselves and they have to create new things. Now, I have seen from going through these themes that 2 things was very important where it was traced. That is, one is cybercrime, and another is the science and technology for women and children, serving justice to who are most susceptible victims. But let me confine to cybercrime. I am giving you all you know possibly, that what happened on 23rd November this year, Do you know what happened? I believe that you must have forgot that. That on that particular day at Delhi, that one of the most prestigious hospital AIMS, that server was down. Is it not? So this is what I am saying. Why? That what is the, and for few days this was not workable. Then they have to operate everything manually. And as a consequence of this thing, that the hospital outpatient and the inpatient digital system has been completely paralyzed. That the laboratory, the functions, everything, billing, everything has been now. Now investigation has been started. It is found that one ransomware was installed in this computer network systems. And as a result, and it is also found during investigation, it was originated from a location at China or Hong Kong. Now they are taking the help of this international police authorities for Interpol to find out that the IP address as also this Gmail, that who are the perpetrator of this crime. So what I say that now they have been advised and now it is all right and they have retrieved the data. Next is thing that now recently it is on survey it is found that healthcare service is one of the target. How? But because you see that there was enough warning to them that this Dr. Reddy's and Ciplas, all the big companies, because there is susceptible to attack. Next, but there is a good news. I have seen one report that the Bidhannagar Police Cybercrime Cell has been able to arrest 200 accused who, by using this internet as cheated large number of mostly old peoples, elderly peoples, and able to recover 54 crores of rupees from their custody. And almost more than a dozen of these thing online, these cyber cafes have been sealed. Next, I find that in the early part of this year, in the November, in this month, the Central Depository Service Limited, as you know, the CDSL, detected a malware. But fortunately, before it caused some harm, they have been able to stop it, intervene it. So they are trying to access to that confidential data of their clients and other informations. But fortunately, that could not have been done. And I had found another things that last June 18 to March 22, there was at least Indian bank services sectors has suffered 248 cases where there was this kind of cyber crimes is committed. Now, this is what I am giving you some short example. Then now it is seen that how this criminal side, artificial intelligence could be used to stop cyber crime. One of the very essential thing is CCTV camera. In our area where I am staying at Kalighat. This was too close to my area. There was a place called Bhavanipur. There one day in the morning found 2 elderly people were killed. The police started investigation. Then from the CCTV footage, which was the camera which was installed on the roads for traffic management, they able to identify the movement of few peoples who are going. They are lucky because that post was just in front of that house. So from there, they finally picked up the real culprit who were involved in the offenses. Similarly, today, if you run in this bypass, if you commit a foul, that you violate the traffic signals, immediately in your registered phone, you will get an information that you have violated and this much of the fine you have to be deposited. This is one kind of prevention. So this is what previously it was, I find in my young days, that the police constable has to raise hands, stop the car, take the numbers, then the summons are coming and you have to go and deposit the money. This is one thing. Another thing is this, you see that drone. Today, when there is an 26th date celebrations, that you will find, or in football game or cricket game, you will say that the drone is moving above you. So keeping watch. This is artificial intelligence. That whether anybody, metal detectors, these biometry, these are the kinds of, I say that these are the examples. This is how one can prevent this thing. So these are the things. So far as the other part of the themes are concerned, you have heard very scholarly lectures from various persons who have but therefore I do not want to continue any further. Instead of being brief, I want to be very short. So let me conclude here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your deliberation. I will now, as a part of the recognition of the organizing committee, I will request a few observations and feedback by the delegates and resource persons. I will call upon Dan Miguri ma'am, if you could kindly say a few words very briefly about the organizing committee and your observations about the conference. Ma'am, please come. Yes, ma'am, please come.
Good afternoon. I'm honored to be here. I think this conference is one of the very best I've ever been to. It was so well organized. I think the committee did a great job, and I appreciate being involved.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sir, please come forward, sir.
Honorable Chief Guest, colleagues, Honorable Chief Guest, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, well, 43rd Annual Conference of the Indian Society of Criminology has been organized in the shadow of COVID-19, and I prefer to call it COVID Yug. And that is why it is very, very significant and very, very important. And when I hear that nearly 300 delegates have participated in the deliberations and dozens of learned papers have been presented, and adding glory to the event are so many friends from other countries, I feel very, very happy. Now, our newly elected president, Professor Chakravarti, has been the prime mover. He has been, like me, he's an old hand. I am old because of professional or calendar age. He is old because of the experience. It is the fourth annual conference which he has organized. I have been watching him for last several years. Now I would like to add to what has already been said by honorable delegates here. Salveen surroundings are coupled with hospitality, rather Bengali hospitality. We have been overwhelmed with the courtesy and hospitality which would be in our memory, fond memory for years to come. All the arrangements have been excellent, and we have enjoyed the hospitality all the 3 days. Well, sometimes it is very embarrassing for a teacher that delegates are there offering you tissue paper or collecting tissue paper. It is very embarrassing for a teacher who is usually given to very simple habits. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I say let there be a big applause for the new president and our main host, Chakrabarti Sahab. Give him a big hand. And don't forget, and please do not forget Sarfad Ahmed Khan. Well, I heard about him in Delhi on a number of occasions from number of friends from different parts of the country, but had the good fortune of meeting him only here. So I'm particularly grateful that the day I arrived over here, he was there at the hotel to say welcome. Lastly, a big hand to volunteers, our student volunteers. I have already given you the example. Volunteers provide all care and attention and what you have. So I will remember your hospitality and your courtesy for rest of my life, which may not be very long. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I will request Tumpa Mukherjee ma'am to kindly say a few words.
A very good evening to Honorable Justice Sir, as well as all the senior professors and student scholars and everyone present here in this auditorium. And I think what Professor MZ Khan said, sir, after that there can't be anything else that can be said. So a big thank you to the organizing committee, organizing secretary, to Professor Chakraborty sir and everyone, and one very sincere request, a very humble request. Sir, we do not have criminology as a postgraduate course as well as undergraduate course in West Bengal. It is either studied as a part of social work course or as a part of law course. But I, being a student of social science, feel sincerely that in West Bengal we should have a separate department of criminology. It would be very kind of you if you please consider this issue and raise it with the higher level authorities in the field of education. Thank you so much once again for everything.
Thank you so much, ma'am, also for your suggestion. May I now call upon Dr. D. Ravichandran. Sir, if you could kindly come up. D. Sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, dignitaries on the days and off the days. I'm sorry, I don't know what to be told, but it is a duty. It has been called for me, so I have to give a feedback right now. So thank you so much. This is my first IAC conference, which I have been attending after so many years. That is, I've been associated with IAC, but I couldn't able to attend conferences earlier due to my duties. So it's just a very good hospitality which we have received here. That, as Professor said, each hospitality will be a different one that we have enjoyed in our university. And it is a fantastic organized sessions that we could see the parallel sessions, and we could not able to feel the struck at anywhere else. That is the one thing. And and lot many things we have explored here that I think within the campus and off the campus also. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and definitely, as Professor said, we will come back again. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Among the judges delegates, I will now call upon Srimati Ushmita Shamuddar ma'am to kindly address.
Honorable Mr. Justice Oshim Roy, Namaskar, my lord. NKC sir, as we lovingly used to call him in our college days, all the dignitaries and the delegates present here today, we 5 delegates have been nominated by the Honorable High Court to participate in this conference for the last 3 days. And we have been extremely honored to be present here and listen to all the presentations and the papers given during the course of the conference. And we have gained a lot through all the topics that were discussed and the papers that were presented. And in a way, it will help us in the work, judicial work that we do on the day-to-day basis. And we are looking forward to such conferences in the near future also. And we hope we are invited in the next conferences which are to come. And thank you very much to all the organizers, and we had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I will now call upon our Patron-in-Chief and Chairperson of the 43rd All India Criminology Conference, Professor Dr. N.K. Chakraborty, Honorable Vice Chancellor.
On the dais, Honorable Justice Oshim Rai, my teacher, Professor Pandeyji, my colleagues, of the dais, Professor Khan, other teachers, delegates. I think we have discussed a lot of things during last 3 days. Only one thing to add on that we have definitely, in organizing this conference and setting the themes and sub-themes, one message we wish to give you, that please open your mind, be you in law field or sociology, social work, psychology, forensic science, criminology. That is not that you have your own boundary. You have to go beyond your boundary, and learning is now in multi-dimensional. So open your mind, whatever things developing, either your field or other fields, you open your mind. Take particularly science technology. I think next 10 years onwards, we have to accept many development in science technology in our criminology, law, or whatever. So that aspect is our message. You accept that and try to think that whatever way you can take the science technology in your own field. That's my message. Thank you all for accepting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I will now call upon Dr. Sarfaraz Ahmed Khan, sir, Associate Professor, School of Criminal Justice and Administration, WBNUJS, and the Organizing Secretary of the conference.
Good evening to everyone. Almost 6 months ago, or little more than 6 months ago, we decided to host this conference at NUJS. So, sir, myself, we were discussing how to organize, and we know the prestige of this conference, and we see it's in Calcutta has a privilege that when NKC sir was there in Calcutta University, he organized it. When he is the Vice Chancellor at NUJS, he organizing here. When he was in KIT, he was organizing there. So, sir had experience. I did not have any experience. So we discussed, a little apprehensive we had, but ultimately we decided we'll organize. We tried our best, and a large number of people has supported us. It was not possible to organize these kinds of programs without the support of other people. So when I'm saying vote of thanks, I will not able to name those people who are behind the organizing this program. So please forgive me if someone's name I have not mentioned. So we are come to end of these 3 days event which we have organized. And in this 3 days time, we learn a lot, we interacted with, we develop some relationship, friendship, we got to know to new friends. And this is the platform which we get, we able to understand and know each other. We developed the collaborative project, we developed some idea where we can work in futures together. So these platforms is a provide program platforms to all of us, and we tried our best that we can organize program in such a manner where in every day we all will be together, every day we all will be separated in the different rooms, so that at the end of the day again we will meet together so we can have more interactions among ourselves. Hope our endeavor was right and we able to execute it. What we have seen on this day, nothing short of star in today when we see our dice, all the star-studded assembly of some of the best legal luminaries of the country. We are honored to have among us Professor B.B. Pandey sir, who is a guru of gurus, so like is the senior most professors of law in the countries, and he's a teacher of many teachers who is teaching in the different part of the country. And we are really delighted, sir, to hear you. It was an honor to hear you always. So thank you, sir, for accepting our invitations. We thank to Indian Society of Criminology on believing us. NKC sir was there that helps in getting these programs. But at least the Executive Council of the ISC has allowed us to conduct this host. So thanks to Indian Society of Criminology and all of the members. I thank Syed, Dr. Syed Umar Hatab. I don't know how many times I have disturbed him by calling him for different things, small minutes. We try to put together in these brochures all the previous conference details, all the previous president, etc., all the executive committee member details. We wanted to make it a historical book when you have all the previous history, or at least some documentation will be there. And that required lots of effort. So the effort which Umar has put, it's really remarkable, and we try to publish it. Thank you, Umar, for doing everything what you have done. We are really grateful to our own Vice Chancellor, sir. So without him, it's impossible to conducting the programs. Though I was the organizing secretary, but almost everything sir has done. So like from last few days, last 1 month, I think from morning till evening, he was only thinking about the conferences. And we always sit together, and we as a soldiers just followed the order of the commander. So we all work together and try to execute it. So thank you, sir, for doing everything. We are really grateful to our chief guest today, Honorable Justice Asim Rai, sir, whom we consider is a part of NUJS. So he is part of our organizing body of the university. Sir is very close to us. But on these occasions, on a working day, he agreed to come and giving a validity address to us. It's an honor, sir, to hear you. We always enjoy hearing you. And thanks a lot, sir, for accepting our invitations and coming here. I thank all the senior members of Indian Society of Criminology, Dr. M.Z. Khan, sir, who is here, so most senior professor of criminology in the country. Professor Dr. Mehrajuddin Mir, sir, he just a little earlier, he left, but he was here from all the 3 days he was here. Professor P. Madhava Somasundaram, sir, the chairman of the ISC, put lots of effort in organizing this program. He is not here, but before organizing the programs, coming down to Calcutta, taking all note of the every small minute thing what we are going to do, he took account of it. Then organizing virtual meetings every 15 days onwards, and taking note of what the progress has been made. So in his absence, thanks to him for doing everything. We also thanks to Professor Arvind Tiwari sir, who also took lots of initiatives in organizing this program. So all the senior member of ISC, we are really grateful to them for their support and guidance. We thank to our own administration from the university, under the leadership of the registrar ma'am, all the administrative staff, they have extended their support. When we organize programs, we can see someone who in front of you, but many occasions we don't see the people who are behind the scene who is working there, which include the Vice Chancellor's office, Registrar's office, Vice Chancellor's PA, Registrar's PA, DUs, other staffs who are involved in the processes. So thanks to all the single staff of this university for making this program successful. I thank West Bengal Judicial Department, Government of West Bengal for nominating public prosecutors. I thank Judicial Academy West Bengal to nominate judges or judicial magistrates from the different courts. We thank Correctional Services Department, Government of West Bengal to nominate officials. We thank Swami Vivekananda Police Academy to nominate the faculty from that academy. We thanks International Justice Mission for supporting us. They sponsors one of the sessions and they are continuous supporting us. So we thank all those organizations. When we see our organizing committee, among the organizing committee, some of us was consistently involved in the processes. We have our working chairperson, Dr. Kavita Singh, so thank her. There are many people. Among the organizing committee, there are many people who has worked hard. So, Registrar Ma'am, Sikha Sen Ma'am, Dr. Sanjit Kumar Chakravarti, Dr. Ankit Srivastava, Dr. Jayanto Ghosh, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Dr. Atul Alexander, Faisal Fasi, Dr. MP Chingappa, Ms. Sampa Kormokar. There are several other members, Somabha, Kanchan, Malobika, Arijita, Sangomitra, Bijoy, Urmi, Shovan, Sambit. There are student leaders and I will miss the name because I cannot say how many people were involved. So almost 75, 80 student volunteers who work day night for executing these programs. And among those 80 members, a few of their leaders who played an active role from the beginning, the Panshu Agarwal, Rudronil, Raghav, Chaitanya, Arko, Faraz, Vardhaman, Sineha, Aryan, Suren Pandit, and there are other few. I am unable to take the name of all of them, media persons in charge. So there are many people who are working in the different field and they help us. So it was unbelievable the amount of work which the student has executed. It was impossible to conduct the programs without their support. So I thank all of you and give a round of applause for our students who help us in organizing these programs. I also thank some of the students are from Center for Criminal Law, Criminology and Victimology and School of Forensic Science, which were together us. So these one center, one school at least who supported us. So all the faculty members, students of Forensic Science Department, etc. Thanks to all of them. With these few words, I really, any conference, if it is known, it is known for its quality of research presentation. It is known for quality of publication. We are definitely going to bring out publications out of this conference. There could be edited book. There will be some journal publications. So all the researchers who presented their papers and all the delegates who participated in these programs, without them this program would not have been successful. So I thank all of you for coming from across the country and attending these programs. So thank you. With these few words, I hope we will see you, all of you, in some point of time. And we will meet again. We know the Indian Society of Criminology conference every year. In all probability, next year conference, though it's a secret, but it's going to held in Gujarat. So hope some of you will meet again in Gujarat in 44th All India Criminology Conference once it is officially decided. So thank you, everyone.
So dear professors, dear friends, student friends, I request one and all to kindly stand up and give a standing ovation to the organizing team of the 44th All India Criminology Conference. Thank you.
With the permission of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and dignitaries on the dais, may I now declare the conference closed. There is a small announcement. Attendees and participants will collect their certificates from the registration desk at the ground floor, and presenter certificates which are left will be collected from 115 first floor. Thank you.
Sir, core committee want a photograph. We can organize it. Sir, core committee photographs or students want for. I am
All the student OC members are requested to come for the photograph in front of the dais.
Hello. I request all the volunteers and the student organizing committee members to come on a dais for the group photograph.